TNT. We know drama.
The Rockets are on the cusp. They took a charge in the paint and took charge of the series.
McGrady attacking. McGrady knocks the crowd.
Now Tracy McGrady can exercise his demons and escape career-long first-round playoff purgatory. Utah faces a stern reality. Win or go home. Nothing else matters. Is tonight the night when Deron and his buddies complete the trick? The scenic route towards shocking the world winds through the Bay Area.
Pressure's not on us any more than it is them.
Despite where the pressure lies, Dallas is the only team that cannot fall short. If Dirk is to carry MVP stature, he must carry his team to the win. Will history be made? The drama of the playoffs continues on TNT.
Tracy McGrady's been here before in his career, a chance to knock out a first-round opponent. But so far, he's come up empty. Tonight, Houston takes its 3-2 lead to Utah against Carlos Boozer and the Jazz, who have 2 double-digit home wins in this series. Welcome back to the NBA playoffs on TNT. The Rockets and the Jazz, followed by Dallas and Golden State. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley. This should be some fun tonight.
Ernie, as a player, me and Kenny both been there. There's nothing like big games and everybody's watching. There are no other NBA games going on tonight, and everybody is watching these 2 games. This is the place you want to be.
2 big game 6s, and Golden State has a chance to make history. An 8 has never beaten a 1 in a best of 7. Here is Golden State's Baron Davis.
Well, we feel like we're up 3-2, and we're happy to be in that situation and not another situation. And, you know, going home with that crowd and that energy, we know that we can feed off of that. And, you know, we didn't play a good game. So, you know, we definitely got to get back to the drawing board, and we're going to play a lot better when we get home.
Jason Richardson says there's no pressure on Golden State as you see the numbers for Baron Davis. The regular season against Dallas compared to what he's done in the postseason against these same Dallas Mavericks. In fact, he's number 6 in the postseason in scoring, number 12 in assists, number 6 in three-point percentage. What's your take on what we're going to see, Kenny, later tonight in Game 2?
See, what I really enjoy,
you are so pumped up. You're throwing pins.
What I really enjoy is the fact that on the road, you have to either close out a team or stay alive. Now, those are the 2 toughest things to do. It's easy to do it at home, but can you do it on the road? Because last night, both teams were at home, and they got an opportunity to close out at home, and it kind of went their way. But on the road, when it's just 12 men and 20,000 people against you, this is when you find out what your teammates are really about. This is when you find out if you can trust someone, and trust is the biggest part of winning championships.
And I think it's fun because what Kenny said is correct. It's like those 12 players, it's really like 15 people. You're standing up cheering every play, and there's 20,000 people talking about your family.
And telling you to sit down.
It is on an intense environment. I think the key to that game is going to be, can Dallas get off to a good start? Like I said, Golden State, when they play at home, it is a fantastic crowd. Dallas cannot play uphill. If they get off to a bad start, Golden State plays on emotion. If that crowd's only going to pump them up more, Dallas has to get off to a good start.
Same with the Rockets. I think the same way. I think they have to get off to a good start as well.
Any chance that you would wear the Golden State colors at some point tonight?
If they win.
Because this was sent by Raymond Ritter.
Who is that?
He's the PR guy for Golden State.
Well,
in fact, you know what? That's a double X. He sent for you the...
Oh, see?
Actually sent you a 5. It's a 5X. Look at the size of this.
I tell you what, Ernie.
If they win, will you wear that?
Yes, I will.
You will believe.
Yes. And I want to give a shout out to...
Or if you don't wear it, you can use it as a
and I want to give a shout out to one of my great friends from Golden State, Don Kowalski, sent me a case of wine to let me know, Atalan. I got it in the back to let me know that people in Golden State love the Chuckster.
Where?
Oh, yeah,
okay. Well, one of them.
They love the Chuckster.
Oh, my girl Judy loves me too. That's Don's wife.
Now here's a quickie question for you before we get out to Utah. Tracy McGrady has never been out of the first round. Does it happen in this game tonight?
I want to see it in Game 7. I want it to go 7.
I think it does because the bench players played great in the last game. I think it will carry over tonight. I'm taking Houston tonight.
I want it to go Game 7 because Game 7, that's what men are made.
Well,
if there's a Game 7, I can't go to the fight, can he?
Hey, we're going to Salt
Game
Lake
7.
City. Dick Stockton and Reggie Miller standing by.
Thank you, Ernie. The statue of John Stockton, part of the legacy of success here in Utah, along with Karl Malone, and looking to revive it with Deron Williams and Carlos Boozer, who have led the Jazz into the playoffs for the first time since the presence of those two former greats. But they need a victory tonight to send this series to a 7th game against the Houston Rockets, who have the advantage right now, as we welcome you to Game 6 of the Western Conference opening round series between the Rockets and the Jazz, and the home team has prevailed in every game. And right now, let's check out our McDonald's starting lineup. Tracy McGrady coming off a career-high 16 assists. He and Yao Ming, a potent 1-2 punch for Houston. Meanwhile, for the Utah Jazz, they have relied on Carlos Boozer, who had 41 points in one game. And that's the setting as we bring you in to the arena here in Salt Lake City. Dick Stockton, along with Reggie Miller and Craig Sager with us as well, and the Houston Rockets looking to win on the road to capture it. But the Jazz have played very well at home. Who do you think is the barometer for the Utah team coming into this game, Reggie?
Well, if you listen to Jerry Sloan, it has to be Mehmet Okur. 14 of 65 field goals, and an even worse, 4 of 25 from beyond the arc. It's his offense, the way he can stretch the defense, that allows Matt Harpering and Carlos Boozer to operate inside. So if he can stretch the defense with his outside shooting, that is going to be a plus for the Jazz.
And the Rockets, who have been a good defensive team and a good road team. Jeff Van Gundy saying we have been a great road team, but this is different. We have to earn it and take it. The Jazz won't give us anything tonight, as Van Gundy knows that Jerry Sloan's team has shown a lot more energy and confidence on their home floor. And Jazz feel they contended and could have won the games in Houston. But now a new setting underway. Rafer Alston controlling the opening tip. Rockets won the first 2, the Jazz the next 2 before Houston won 96-92 in Game 5 at home. Feed inside, tipped in by Yao Ming. Yao Ming, who has averaged 24 points, and they waved it off as offensive interference above the cylinder.
And that's Tracy McGrady there making the play, or I should say the non-play right there. Derek Fisher starting off on him. You're going to see a variety of players guarding Tracy McGrady tonight. Andrei Kirilenko and Gordon Gierczak.
And there is Kirilenko, and he's coming off his best performance. A great pass by Okur, had 8 points in his best showing thus far in the series in Game 5.
Well, if you want to call 8 points from a former All-Star his best performance, he's got to play at a higher level as well if these Rockets are going to extend the series.
Here is Yao Ming inside with the short jumper to tie it up. So Yao Ming, part of the 1-2 punch, averaging 24 points. In fact, you mentioned Tracy McGrady. Yao and Tracy McGrady have accounted for 49 points a game for the Rockets. Fisher inside, it goes past Kirilenko, went through his legs, and it'll go over to Houston.
Well, one thing that Utah really wants to establish is a lot of this curling and cutting action that Coach Jerry Sloan thrives on. You make a mistake, it's going to be a backdoor cut and a layup.
And the ball knocked out of bounds by Fisher with plenty of time on the shot clock. Derek Fisher, one of the few Utah Jazz with a lot of playoff experience coming into this, won 3 NBA titles as a member of the Lakers. Alston guarded by Williams. Battier with Kirilenko all over. Turnover. Good move maneuver by Kirilenko. He bottled up Battier effectively. Here is Okur, open for the shot, shooting over Yao Ming. And controlling it is Hayes, but into the hands of Kirilenko, who gets the lay-in.
And that's one of those plays you're also taught in grade school, never save the basketball in front of someone else's goal. Andrei Kirilenko doing a good job of playing center field, so to speak, getting the pass for the lay-in.
And the first 4 points for the Jazz scored by Andrei Kirilenko, who has not scored in double figures in this series. Feed inside to Hayes, double team, and there is Battier, and the rebound by Okur. So the Jazz lead 4-2, getting their crowd into the game now, and it's been a very vociferous home court crowd. Boozer on the turnaround. And McGrady handling the ball.
And Carlos can't settle for fadeaway jumpers, especially when Yao is guarding him. You got to attack the basket.
And McGrady winds up with the ball after the layup too close to the hoop. The three-point attempt, first of the game by Alston. And the Jazz coming back. Again, Kirilenko. And he runs into a couple of players, but they're going to call the blocking foul. And it will be on Battier.
Well, he hasn't done a lot offensively, but one thing that he's always going to show up in the stat sheet is block shots. Kirilenko always in the running for Defensive Player of the Year because of his long arms and his size. So that's one thing he's definitely been contributing to this series is his defensive block shots.
It's been a slow start for Kirilenko, who actually shed some tears earlier after game number 1 because of the fact that he hadn't performed that well.
Well, I know Charles was getting on him a lot for crying in basketball, but give me a player who cares. Give me a player who cares that's showing that kind of emotion. I'll take those kind of players any day.
6-2 as Derek Fisher scores to give the Jazz the 4-point lead. Here's McGrady, defended by Kirilenko, coming over to help his Boozer. Hayes to Yao Ming, and they're going to call the foul on Boozer inside. Good pass by Hayes, who has done the little things very effectively in this series. So Yao Ming going to the free throw line. He has averaged 10 free throw attempts per game and 91% shooting in this series from the line.
Well, you thought roles would have been reversed. Coming into this series during the regular season, the Jazz were second in free throw attempts during the game, for a game, 30 a game. They're getting out free throw 25 so far with these Rockets. So showing what team is more aggressive has been the Rockets.
And they were 28th in free throw attempts in the regular year. So they were at opposite ends of the spectrum, and it's changed here in postseason as Yao Ming with the free throws. Nearly 3 minutes gone by in the first quarter. Dick Stockton, Reggie Miller, and Craig Sager with you. Game 6, and the Jazz need to win or they go home, and Alston with the reach-in foul.
You know, another reason why Okur has struggled has been Chuck Hayes has been on him. He thought that Yao Ming was going to be guarding and he could extend the defense, but Chuck Hayes has not let him have a lot of space when he goes up for that jump shot.
Here is Boozer. He's defended by Yao. There's been a tough matchup for Yao Ming throughout the series. Feed to Boozer with the fall away, and Battier with the rebound. So the Rockets looking to tie the game or take the lead. So Yao with the turnaround, and the score is tied 6-6. So Yao Ming with the first 6 points for the Houston Rockets, and we have a tie game. Deron Williams shooting over Yao, and the rebound taken down by Tracy McGrady. So right now the Jazz 3 for 7 from the field.
You know, you always ask which team is going to set the tone and the tempo first, and right now this tempo is all Houston Rockets right now. Not a lot of fast breaks. They're establishing a low post threat in Yao Ming right here. Look, when you catch the basketball with 1 foot in the paint, if you don't come to double quickly, I don't care who you are, you're going to score in this league.
There's Yao Ming, who was out for 32 games with a broken leg, and the Rockets flourished. Great job done by Jeff Van Gundy coaching this team. Ball knocked out of bounds, and last touch by Fisher with 4 seconds on the shot clock. Jeff Van Gundy, whose team finished 1 game better than the Utah Jazz in the regular season, thus gaining the home court advantage in this opening round. McGrady for 3, and he's got it. The Rockets, the first 4 games of the series were woeful from three-point territory, but they hit 12 of 24 in game number 5, and that had been one of their strengths.
And Derek Fisher, who is known for being a great defensive player, doesn't have the size to go against Tracy McGrady. That's why you can see Andrei Kirilenko at times and Gordon Gierchek, who's a little bit taller, guarding him, but he can just rise up anytime and shoot over Derek Fisher. But right now he just stares him down and shoots over him. He's just too little.
So the Rockets with their first lead of the game and 9 seconds to attempt the shot. And here is Deron Williams from Kirilenko. Good feed there. We're seeing some nifty passing on both teams early on here, Reg.
Well, I still like the tempo right now for Houston. I would really like Utah to try to get out, get some easy fast break points, try to extend the Rockets a little bit.
Williams basket ended a 7-0 Rocket run. Here is Rafer Alston in big-time territory, finds an opening and missed an open shot. The offensive rebound by who else but Hayes, and there is Alston hitting the three. So once again, Chuck Hayes doing the little things, the offensive rebound, and Alston hitting the three. So the 10-2 run in less than 2.5 minutes, and the Rockets are up by 4. Kirilenko with a screen from Boozer. And only red shirts under the boards.
Andrei Kirilenko really didn't even look comfortable shooting that jump shot right there.
Right now, this crowd has not been in the game. And McGrady short with the jumper. Barry Sloan telling us that we want to push the ball up. We could get an advantage on the Rockets by doing that. They have not been able to run a fast break yet.
And that tires Yao out. You want to tire him out as much as possible. And the only way you can do that is run him up and down the court.
Okur called for the offensive foul. So things just not going the Jazz way after their quick start. And one of the great coaches in the NBA, Jerry Sloan, a great run of things that he had with the Utah Jazz. His 4th decade as an NBA head coach. 6:20 to go in the first, and they'll call the offensive foul the other way, and it'll go against Yao Ming. So Yao with his first.
Yeah, Yao moved that hip a little bit. He hits himself upside the head a little bit. You got to establish yourself when you come off them screens.
Jazz were convincing, winning games 3 and 4 at home, and had golden opportunities to win 3 of the first 4 games played in Houston. Boozer with a pretty move to the basket. And Boozer with 26 points to lead the Jazz in game 5, cutting the Rocket lead to 2. Ball tipped away, it was deflected, and it goes out of bounds. It'll be Rockets ball with 12 on the shot clock. But before they get going, we'll have a timeout. We're under the shadows of the Wasatch Mountains. There they are, Salt Lake City in a 2-point game.
The 2007 NBA Playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by DirecTV. There's good TV, there's better TV, and then there's DirecTV. By Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters. By Autotrader.com, the ultimate automotive marketplace. And by PlayStation 3, Play Beyond.
Here in Salt Lake City, the Rockets lead the Jazz 12-10, and it's time for the Gatorade Around the Cooler report. Let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, Tracy McGrady is arguably the best player in NBA history never to get past the first round of the playoffs. Tonight, he gets another opportunity. 3 times he and his Orlando teammates had closeout games against Detroit. They were blown out by 31, 15, and 15. And 2 years ago, he and his Houston Rockets had a 2-0 lead against Dallas. They lost a Game 7 closeout game by 40. I'm not sure a first-round playoff game can be a defining moment in a player's career, but a victory tonight could be the beginning of the way that T-Mac's career is defined.
I don't think there's any question about that, Craig, because T-Mac has energized his game, and we know that with the 16 assists. And definitely a 1-2 punch, and we'll have an offensive foul called against the Rockets, and it's on Tracy McGrady. That'll be his first foul, and this coming after Derek Fisher buried a 3-point basket. So we are tied at 12-12, and now they have changed the foul to Chuck Hayes. So Hayes picks up his first, but we're even at 12. Kirilenko backing in against McGrady. Boozer. That was a tough shot over Yao Ming, out of bounds. Last touch by the Jazz. Kirilenko not happy with that call by Joe Forte.
Well, the one basket that Carlos Boozer scores on, he takes Tracy McGrady off the dribble and scores on a layup. His other 3 previous shots have all been fadeaways. He has to attack Yao Ming and not settle for these fadeaways.
Deron Williams fouling Rafer Alston. Of course, they asked Jerry Sloan, you have the great 1-2 punch you have to worry about in McGrady and Yao Ming. What about the others? And the Jazz seem to feel that if they can kind of curtail the role players, that'll go to their advantage regardless of what the 2 big stars do. Now, trying to feed it inside. Loose ball on the turnover. Turnovers really plagued the Rockets in games 3 and 4 here earlier in the series. Here's Boozer against Battier. Good move.
Attack the basket. He almost looked like he was going to do a fadeaway right there, and he did the up and under move right there. He's got to be able to attack the bigs for the Houston Rockets.
Your thoughts about the role players, not getting them underway for the Jazz?
Well, you know, what they did in Game 5, Tracy McGrady, he got everyone involved and then looked for his offense. 16 assists accounted for that. Right now, these other guys aren't looking for their shots. They've got to be a little bit more aggressive offensively.
And the coach traveling against Yao Ming. 4 turnovers by Yao Ming alone in this first quarter.
Well, he had 41 points in Game 2, and you see right here, it looked like he was going to go for the fadeaway right there. Up and under, using his body against Battier right there. He's probably the most skilled offensive player for the Utah Jazz, and he has to use that to his advantage.
So there's the good and the bad. Yao with 6 points, but he's turned it over 4 times. And Gordon Giricek has come in the game as the Jazz turned the ball over. With a very strong Utah effort off the bench in this series. Giricek, a big part of it. Yao posting up against Okur. Working his way into the turnaround. The rebound by Boozer.
See, I'll live with that, Mehmet Okur right there. If I can battle him, hit him, and make him shoot a fadeaway himself, that works to our advantage.
Okur over Hayes. So Mehmet Okur, who scored 9 points in the last game, and has been in double figures in only 1 of the 5 games thus far in the series, raising the Jazz lead to 4.
Now you have a bigger defender, Gordon Giricek, now guarding Tracy McGrady.
And the foul is called against Giricek here.
Now as a big, what you want to do against Yao Ming is crowd him. Make him expend some energy, and look, the fadeaway jumper right there, you can live with that. And how he gets open on the offense, it was pick-to-pickers. Chuck Hayes kind of got lost on the pick-to-picker move. Okur comes off with a wide-open jump side. Getting it done at both ends of the court. Mehmet Okur.
And Juwan Howard, coming off a sensational effort in Game 5, replaces Chuck Hayes. 12 points on 6 for 6 shooting for the veteran Howard. 6 rebounds, 4 off the offensive glass. Here is McGrady going strong to the basket and getting the field goal. So Tracy McGrady stops an 8-0 Jazz run. And it's a 2-point game.
Well, Giricek there opened up the floodgates right there. If you're going to force Tracy McGrady middle, he's going to score just about 90% of the time. And you got to force him baseline.
Absolutely, and Matt Harpring, who's come into the game, is fouled. Harpring very key, especially in the home games for the Jazz. That foul will be against Juwan Howard. A timeout with just under 3 minutes to play in the first. Here are the Jazz shooting 57% to 42% for the Rockets, yet Utah leading by just a pair. And right now it's time for tonight's Hurts Around the League. Who has the best 1-2 punch? Well,
right now you would say Luol Deng and Ben Gordon, but they've been off for a while right now. It's curious if they're going to have that same rhythm when they go into that second round matchup against Detroit. And everyone's talking about the game that's following with Baron Davis and Steven Jackson have been playing fantastic for Golden State. Let's see if they can keep that energy up.
And T-Mac and Yao Ming have accounted for 11 of the 14 points for the Rockets so far tonight. And Yao going to the bench, and Dikembe Mutombo has come in. He has averaged 7 minutes a game coming off the bench for Jeff Van Gundy. So the 2-point lead, and Derek Williams behind to Giricek, a 2-point attempt. And the Rockets looking to tie at least. McGrady with Jared Collins in the foul, and that's what Collins is in there to do with the banging. And going to the line will be Tracy McGrady.
And that's textbook fast break right there by T-Mac. He understood that Deron Williams was guarding him, but he saw that Jared Collins was running down the middle of the floor, so he knew if he cut down the middle, he was going to rub Williams off of Collins, and Collins, not slew of foot, was going to foul him. So he's looking, surveying the land right here. He sees that Jaron Collins run down the middle. Oh, if I cut down the middle right there, Collins is going to have to pick me up. Let me just put my body into him and draw the contact.
So Tracy McGrady, who shook off a hip injury in game number 5 and had a tremendous passing game, makes 1 out of 2. So the Jazz still up by 1. Here's Harpering off the screen, and the loose ball comes out in the hands of Rafer Alston. Juwan Howard running the court, the veteran, putting the pressure on. And there is Luther Head with the basket. Luther Head with the three-point shot, and this was a prolific three-point shooting team, and Luther Head was right at the center stages here throughout Houston.
And he really had been struggling all the way up until game 5 with this shot. Speaking with Coach Jeff Van Gundy before the game, he says there's other things you can do. You don't have to always rely on your offense to carry you. Why don't you get back on defense? Why don't you move your feet, make the extra pass? Don't validate you being on the court, all about being on the offensive end.
Yet he starts this game with a 3, which the Rockets will take. A defensive 3-second violation called against Houston, and missing the free throw was Matt Harpering.
You know, listening to Kenny Smith back at the studio, he really likes Luther Head as one of his 6 Man of the Year award winners candidate because he likes him stretching the defense for the Houston Rockets.
Boozer with the follow, and it's 18-18 the score, tying it up. Luther Head, by the way, was 2 for 17 from 3 prior to going 2 for 4 in game number 5. So if he gets unleashed for 3, that'll be a big boost for the Rockets. So we're tied with 1:40 remaining in the first. McGrady finding the teammate. Head going back to T-Mac, picks up the loose ball, and then misses the shot.
That's the time you need to take the basketball out, T-Mac. Run your offense again. You don't need quick shots against this Jazz team.
Brady 2 for 6 from the field. 1:15 to go, and here is Boozer giving up the screen. Deron Williams puts the fake on Rafer Alston off the rim, and Juwan Howard gets the rebound. Nearly a minute to go in a tied first quarter. McGrady guarded by Giricek down low and beats him. So Tracy McGrady now with 8 points to lead the Rockets. And a 2-point lead for Houston. Houston can wrap it up with a road win and then await the winner of the Golden State-Dallas series, which has been a tremendous series, the one to watch. Is game 6 coming up right after our game here. Here's Deron Williams with a 2-point field goal. And again, the tie at 20.
Well, if you're Rafer Alston, you can't go under the pick on the pick and roll because Deron Williams is too good of an outside shooter. You got to stay attached, follow him over, make him get rid of the basketball.
And here's McGrady again, the double team by Harper coming over. And missing the 2, that time was Luther Head. Mutombo kept it alive. And now playing for the last shot are the Rockets with 15 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Well, why are you guarding him like that? If I'm Giricek, you got to force him the other way because he wants to go left. Even though he's a right-handed player, he wants to go left.
He goes left, and it drops in. The line drive, mini line drive shot goes in. Final seconds, Deron Williams puts it up and misses it. Great observation on the way Giricek played T-Mac, who had 10 points and 5 rebounds in the first quarter. Great start for Tracy McGrady. Craig Sager said looking to win his first series. And after 1 quarter in Salt Lake, it's the Rockets 22 and the Jazz 20. Start of the second quarter, the Rockets lead the Jazz by 2, and let's look at that last shot attempt one more time.
Well, when you're playing a prolific scorer like Tracy McGrady, you can't give him options. His Giricek's legs should be parallel to the sidelines right there. You're giving him an option, and this is where he wants to go is left anyways. You're going to be put in a tough situation.
And for more, here's Craig.
Well, it's amazing. As soon as Reggie Miller said that, it was the end of the quarter, they came over to the sideline. Jerry Sloan, 6 times first-team all-defense in his playing career, down in a defensive stance, talking to Gordon Giricek, telling him, moving his feet back and forth, how you cannot force him to the left if there's no help. He said there was no help there. We're staying on the guys on the perimeter. And just like Reggie mentioned, there was Sloan down Jordan Giricek, how to guard him.
And we're underway with Paul Millsap An impressive rookie who has certainly gotten the attention of Jerry Sloan. Great respect to Sloan as Juwan Howard guarding Fisher. The passing to Millsap, who lays it in. Jerry Sloan saying before the game that Millsap has played so well, we wouldn't be here without him. Millsap, the rookie from Louisiana Tech.
That's high praise for a rookie in his first playoff experience. We wouldn't be here without him. Because he does all right, and he does all the dirty work. Sloan not known for playing young players. Obviously, he has a young team now, but he's got to go with these young players. And Paul Millsap has been spectacular for him all year.
It's been a rebuilding situation for the Utah Jazz. Game tied at 22, and the Jazz shooting 53% from the field. And yet the game is tied. Harper, Juracek, Fisher, Millsap in there. And Jared Collins, Harper, has the ball drop off, and Yao Ming getting his first rebound.
Well, no Tracy McGrady on the floor right now. Who's going to be that facilitator or the initiator to get the ball to Yao Ming so he can get going down low?
And they're going to call the elbow foul. Personal foul called against Millsap. There is Tracy McGrady starting the second quarter on the bench for the Rockets, scoring 10 points on 4 for 8 shooting and getting 5 rebounds. Battier with Rafer Alston, Juwan Howard, Luther Head, and Yao Ming, who sat for the last 3 minutes of the first quarter. Double team on Head. Howard will take the shot and hit. Juwan Howard, what a guy like that coming off the bench with all the experience he had.
Well, he had his best game in Game 5, going 6 of 6 from the field, and struggled offensively up to that point. But this is a guy that has playoff experience that could really help this young ball club, Houston Rockets ball club out.
And he averaged 14 points a game when Yao Ming was sidelined with the broken leg. And he fouled before the shot against the Rockets. And here is Andrei Kirilenko coming in. You take a look at what has been a dry series for Andrei.
Well, I really wonder what is his role offensively in the offense. Jerry Sloan doesn't run a lot of plays for him, but you see on this graphic, 5 is the most field goals he's taken. You can get a lot of second shots just by going to the glass and rebounding for more than 5 shots. So he has to be aggressive on the offensive glass.
Fisher, and the rebound by Howard. The last Houston foul was called on Luther Head. A little more than 2 minutes elapsed here in the second quarter. Here is Yao gets it out to Alston, the open man, and hitting the 3. So that is the 4th three-point basket for the Rockets. And that was a big weapon for them during the regular year. And they've opened up a 5-point lead. And Jerry Sloan wants to talk it over. So the biggest lead of the game.
This is all Yao Ming right here. If you can establish a low post player right here, Derek Fisher comes down a little bit too far. Rafer Alston makes him pay with the 3.
So this is game 6 of this series. The Rockets won. Tracy McGrady, the 1-2 punch. They won by 9 in game 1. Yao Ming helped them win by 8 in game 2. Then the series shift. And Carlos Boozer, who has been the top performer scoring-wise, led a 14-point victory in game 3. And Deron Williams with a brilliant 25-point effort in game 4 to tie it up. And then taking the charge was Chuck Hayes with 12 seconds to go. And that was a great play that you don't see in the box score when Derek Fisher tried to drive in, took the charge with 12 seconds to go, and the Rockets up by 1, and they prevailed in game 5.
Well, it's interesting, in game 3, the Rockets bench didn't even score a basket, and Kirilenko finally gets a play ran for him and gets a bucket, but they didn't even score a bucket in game 3, and tonight they have 5 points, and that's what they're going to need if they want to clinch this series. Jazz
lead by 8 in points in the paint, and they've been up by 39 in the paint coming into the series, so they are getting the job done inside. 8 on the shot clock. Luther Head going down, and a good steal made by Millsap. Great anticipation by Millsap on that entry pass to Yao. Here is Fisher in traffic, and Yao winds up with it, gets it ahead, and it's a 2-on-1 break. Alston feeding Juwan Howard for the basket, and the Rockets are up again by 5.
That's Rafer Alston making that happen. He's the one that created the 2-on-1 right there. He made Matt Harper guard him. Wide open Juwan Howard running down the middle.
Fisher bottled up by Alston. Here's Kirilenko, the double team, and Millsap. Very quietly, Millsap, who, by the way, was the only player in history to lead a Division I school to the national rebounding crown 3 straight years. Alston, and the three-point attempt doesn't go, and here comes Fisher with the Jazz down by 3. 3.5 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Nick Stockton, Reggie Miller, Craig Sager, game 6. Jazz at home as the home team have won every game. And we'll have a foul inside, and it'll be on Luther Head. That'll be the second foul against Head.
Well, this is almost like a Bigfoot sighting right here. A fast break by the Rockets. Rafer Alston finding Juwan Howard running down the middle. The Rockets and Van Gundy not known in the open court for their offense. They really do like the traditional half-court setup. Let's find Yao or Tracy offense.
And Alston goes out, and Tracy McGrady, who sat for 4 minutes back into the game, guarding Kirilenko down low. Kirilenko spin move going baseline. 3-point lead, Rockets ball. Trying to disrupt McGrady before he can set up the play. Here's Luther Head. A couple of number 2s guarding each other, Fisher and Head. Here is Yao Ming going baseline and lays it in. Yao Ming now with 8 points, his first points of the second quarter.
Well, we know because he has the size at 7'4", 7'5", but he's really laying his body on Mehmet Okur right there. And he's causing the contact to get the wide open shot.
And you know, when everyone talks about T-Mac, everything is Tracy McGrady. Can he raise his game to another level in game 6? Well, Yao Ming has to do it as well. And very quietly, Yao Ming has to also come up big tonight.
Well, look just how he lays and spins baseline right there and just uses that big frame of his to kind of push Okur out the way for the lay-in.
Yao with 8 points, McGrady with 10. Deron Williams. And Boozer has to tap it away as Juwan Howard was coming over to intercept the pass. So a Jazz turnover, and now the Rockets can establish their biggest lead of the game. A little more than 5 minutes have elapsed here in the second quarter, and this crowd has been a silent partner thus far.
And this is the matchup everyone really wants to see between these two premier players, Tracy McGrady and Andrei Kirilenko. You know, he says that the best way out of all 3 guys to play him, Kirilenko is probably the easiest to score because he's not strong enough to go against McGrady.
7-point lead is the biggest of the game, and Millsap makes a tough shot as he hits the floor and cutting the lead to 5, and that gets a rise out of the throng here in Salt Lake City. 33-28. And they're going to call Kirilenko for the push on McGrady. That's his first foul. And the second team foul against the Jazz.
Right here, Paul Millsap trying to find someone to pass to. Shane Battier is a little bit too aggressive, allows him to go baseline right here. And the nice, if you could say, hang move by Paul Millsap for the deuce.
Millsap making his presence felt with 6 points, coming off the bench. And another foul. Kirilenko again on the hold on Tracy McGrady. So Kirilenko with his second foul in the last 15 seconds, having trouble defending against McGrady away from the basket.
And right here, he's trying to call Yao out for the pick and roll, sees the baseline open. Well, I don't know about that one. Looked like he had all ball on that one.
And McGrady picked up by Mehmet Okur. Tough pass to Luther Head. Juwan Howard has it knocked away, but last touch by Okur. Only 4 seconds on the shot clock for the Rockets.
I like kind of how Tracy's attacking all 3 guys in a different way. He's using his strength against Andrei Kirilenko. Against Fisher, he's just going to shoot over him. And with Giricek just can't guard him.
Shot clock running down. High arcing shot by Tracy McGrady, nearly falling out of bounds. So the Jazz coming back with Deron Williams, who has scored 4 points. Everyone in the starting lineup for the Jazz have scored, plus Millsap off the bench. Boozer with a screen. Offensive rebound. There's Millsap again. He has 8 points on 4 for 4 shooting. And he has been the spark for the Jazz, who come within 3.
Well, we know what he can do on the glass, but this offense has been a plus coming off the bench. Their bench has really outscored the Rockets bench.
The McGrady still in control, fires it up. And Yao trying to keep it alive. The crowd was screaming for a Yao Ming foul. Here's Millsap again, and again he scores. Nope. They wave it off. Offensive foul called against Millsap. And this crowd went from the heights to the depths in a matter of a second.
And I'm not quite sure there's anyone else in the league who takes better charges than Shane Battier. This is his second tonight, really getting in there and taking the hit with his body.
I hear boos.
The 2007 NBA playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Vitamin Water. It works for T-Mac and Agent Zero. And by Verizon Wireless.
Welcome back to Salt Lake City as the Rockets lead the Jazz by 3. Now we know the great Karl Malone would be very proud. His statue overlooking Paul Millsap tonight, coming off the bench, playing great defense here on Yao Ming. He contests it, pushes him out a little bit, and you see the pick and roll, he slips. Good hands for a big guy. You're gonna double on Andrei Kirilenko? Okay, I'm gonna come back door for the easy deuce. And don't overplay because I can put the ball on the floor and score as well. So Jerry Sloan has to be happy for the production off the bench by Paul Millsap.
And as you mentioned, the Utah bench has outscored the Rockets bench the first 4 games, and were outscored by Houston by only 1 point in the last game. That's been a strength for them. Chuck Hayes has entered the game. Yao Ming going to the bench for the Rockets. They're playing smaller. And there is Juwan Howard coming in, and the block by Millsap. There's another one, another good defensive play by the rookie. And driving in and getting the basket is Carlos Boozer, and he's fouled. But it all started with Millsap on the defensive end.
Well, what can't this rookie do right here? He comes up with the block right here, gets the ball to Deron Williams, and Carlos Boozer, who is the trail man on this play right here, finishes the play with the and one.
And Boozer connects, and the Jazz have come back from the 7-point deficit to tie the game at 33 as we approach 5 minutes remaining in the first half. So the crowd involved in this game for the first time because of the latest run, and Rafer Alston with the runner down the lane unties it for the Rockets.
And that was Utah's, that last bucket by Boozer, their first fast break points. Coach Sloan wants them to run more, so they got to get some easy opportunities against the Rockets.
Boozer with 9, Millsap with 8, leading the Jazz scoring. Passing out of the double team, Kirilenko short with it, and the rebound by Juwan Howard. Howard's played really well the last 2 games. And there's Tracy McGrady. Kirilenko guarding him. Battier's left open. Misses the 3. Jazz looking to tie the game and needing a victory to send this to a 7th game, which will be played in Houston on Saturday night. Okur, and coming in is Juwan Howard with the foul, and Okur now getting up, upset with that hard foul, and a technical called against Juwan Howard, and he better watch it, otherwise he'll get another and be ejected. And right now, Chuck Hayes trying to keep Juwan Howard away. Dick Bavetta signaling the technical.
And I really think Juwan Howard has a case here, right here, because when the foul happened, Okur went to the ground. He wasn't the aggressor. He got the foul. Okur got up and kind of pushed and shoved him, and he gets the technical foul.
And Jeff Van Gundy can ill afford losing Juwan Howard from his bench.
A good play right here by Mehmet Okur. He gets Juwan Howard in the air. He draws the contact. That's all good. Kind of a tough foul right there, and he might have thrown him down a little bit. As you see, Okur gets up, he kind of bumps him. And he's just talking to Ken Maurer right there. I don't see where the technical foul came in at.
The officials just conferred, and Dick Bavetta going over to the scorer's table, because the main thing they want to do, obviously, is get this right.
Unless they're calling a double technical here, which it should be. Well, it is And we do know these teams have been going at it for a little bit over a week now. Tempers do flare. You see these guys over a week now. Man on man, head up, head up. Tempers flare.
Personal foul on Juwan Howard. And a technical foul on Howard as well. So Okur going to the line.
Gets him up in the air right now. Comes down, nice hard foul, which I'm sure Stu Jackson and them are going to be taking a look at that because it is a blow to the head area. We're not saying it was intentional, but they're going to take a look at it.
Now Okur on the free throw line, and Juwan Howard still shaking his head over that one. Want to remind you the national television coverage of the NBA playoffs continue. ESPN on Friday, the Raptors and the Nets game 6 with the Nets leading. ABC Sunday, Nets Raptors game 7, or the Nets at the Cavaliers in game 1 of the next round, followed by the Spurs and the Suns. Game 1, coverage begins 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. Okur makes all 3 free throw attempts, and the Jazz take the lead by 1, 36-35, with 4 minutes remaining in the first half. A heated game 7, and the runner again by Rafer Alston. He has been very effective driving in the paint and has 10 first half points, including 2 from three-point range. So regaining the lead in the Rockets. Harper. Williams stepping back for 3 and hitting the 3. And that is the first three-point attempt by the Utah Jazz tonight. And Deron Williams putting the Jazz up by 2.
And again, Rafer Alston has to stay attached to Deron Williams. You can't try to shortcut or go over the screens. You got to follow Deron Williams.
And a timeout, 22nd timeout. Let's see if it goes to a full, but it's called by the Rockets.
Well, when you got a shooter like Deron Williams, you got to stay attached. Rafer Alston tries to take the shortcut. Deron Williams makes him pay.
Jazz lead the Rockets 39-37, and right now it's time for tonight's Toyota moving forward. And we move forward and look ahead to the second half of our TNT doubleheader. The Mavericks and Warriors game 6. Dirk Nowitzki coming alive in game number 5. And Baron Davis leading the way for the Warriors.
Well, there's so much on the line here. Obviously, an 8 going against the number 1 seed. That's never happened in the best-of-7 format. Dirk Nowitzki came alive. 3 minutes left in the game. Really carried that team. Remains to be seen.
Outscored the Warriors 15-0 at the end, and 12 coming from Dirk. We were fortunate to cover 4 of those first 5 games as McGrady drives to the basket and lays it in. So 14 points. Tracy McGrady, the game's leading scorer, 6 of 12 from the field.
That's Tracy at his best when he can attack the basket and get easy ones.
Boozer defended by Yao, giving up the dribble. Yelling for Harping to come out. They go low to Okur, defended by Hayes. Okur with his fall away is short. Here's Alston. Hayes bumping into his own player. And now McGrady with Millsap. Millsap has been tremendous in this first half, but McGrady beats him to the basket. It's going to be hard for Millsap to stay with Tracy McGrady, who has 16 points on 7 for 13. Looking to get beyond the first round for the first time in his career after 5 disappointments is Tracy McGrady, and a timeout called by Jerry Sloan with the Rockets coming back to take the lead 41-39. It's been a seesaw first half as we check in with Craig Sager.
Well, Doug, you're right. Paul Millsap has had a great half, but Jerry Sloan did not want him guarding Tracy McGrady in those series. He had Gordon Guracek at the table ready to check in, but after he could not have a dead ball, all of a sudden the score by McGrady, he had to call his 22nd timeout just so he could get Guracek back into the game.
All right, let's go back and look at that Juwan Howard foul with Mehmet Okur.
Well, right now, when the technical happens, when Dick calls it, he's a little shocked at Dick right there. I know maybe a little bit of incidental contact with the referee.
He didn't push him.
He didn't push him or hit him. I mean, you got to let the players react. Dick didn't take offense to it. He's been around the game too long.
Boozer, baseline. Great play. Boozer with 11 points has been in double figures in every game but one, including 41 points in game 2, but that was a Houston victory. So we're tied at 41 with 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Boozer 5 of 9 from the field. Here's McGrady. And Yao trying to keep it alive, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by the Rockets. So the Jazz looking to take the lead. Very tight. Game number 6 here in this first half.
You know, and Carlos reminds me a lot of Tracy McGrady when they finish, because Tracy's great at finishing with his left hand. Carlos does a lot of this as well, being able to be ambidextrous and finish.
Here's Boozer, now defended by Yao, beats him to the baseline, but traveling is called. And Carlos Boozer, who looked like he had that first step against Yao, turns it over.
And that's what you got to do. You got to attack the back foot of Yao Ming. He's not very good, especially guarding someone out on the floor. You got to be able to attack his back foot, and right there, kind of traveled.
Nearing a minute and a half. McGrady open is Battier. Williams coming over. And Rafer Johnson be a little disconcerted with that three-point attempt. Here's Deron Williams at the other side, trying to feed inside to Harper, but the Jazz will turn it over. Jerry Sloan's team has had difficulty finishing games during the regular year, and that's been their problem here in the first round of these playoffs. Turnovers are even as the Jazz have had the lead at halftime in every game of this series. And have had the lead even in the second half, but have not held on, especially the road games. Yao just gets the pass and beats Boozer emphatically. He has 10, and the Rockets lead by 2.
Well, Carlos Boozer kind of reached right there, and Yao Ming went to the basket. You got to be able to put contact. If you try to go for the steal and don't get it, you're letting them wide open for the easy lay-in.
Giricek, a three. Giricek coming off the bench. Second three-point hoop by the Jazz, who are up by 1. Harpering delivered the pass, nearly a steal by Giricek. Winding down a half a minute remaining, 10 on the shot clock. Rafer Alston blocked by Boozer, and here's Giricek. Behind him is Hayes. Here comes Battier, and the hard foul on Giricek as he is knocked off the stanchion. So the turnover and the hard foul on Gordon Giricek, who will go to the line.
Shane Battier doing a good job of getting back.
Boy, they both got him.
Yeah, they did. One got him low, one got him high. But that's a playoff foul right there. You don't want to ever give up a layup. Make him go to the free throw line and make 2.
Foul is on Hayes. Battier, his second. And Giricek makes the first free throw. Jazz are 5 for 6 from the line thus far. Coming up, E.J., Kenny, and Charles are in Atlanta with the T-Mobile halftime report. 2 huge 6 games tonight. The Rockets and the Jazz here, and the Warriors and the Mavericks coming up after. Utah leading Houston by 3. Got a 4-second differential between the 2 clocks. McGrady pulls up over Giricek. Yao Ming, the offensive rebound. And Yao nearly tapped it in. And the first half ends. Tantalizingly bouncing off that rim, and Yao Ming looking for that one extra chance. It didn't come. And for the 6th straight game, the Utah Jazz have had the halftime lead over the Houston Rockets. Score is 46-43. McGrady and Yao account for 26 of Houston's points. Boozer has 11 for the Jazz. And right now, let's send it over to Craig Sager.
Well, Mehmet, you guys were able to take the lead in 4 minutes after the hard foul by Juwan Howard and the technical. From your perspective, talk about the play and what happened.
Well, I just, ball back on him. He jumped on me, so this is part of the job. So, I just let it go. I think, I react, more than I thought. You know, I was angry, but it's all good. We just, you know, keep playing hard. You just want to, you know, second half, you just want to come out there, play harder, and win the ball game.
It definitely was a hard foul, but it looked like Juwan Howard was surprised he got the technical. Did you hear what he was saying to the officials, what the conversation was?
I wasn't there. I didn't know what to say, so it's all good.
All right, talk about the defensive job you have to do as well.
Well, I'm trying to play harder, you know, on Yao. So also my teammate did a great job, you know, helping me out on the blocks. So it's all about team effort. Hopefully, you know, we're just gonna come out there second half. We gotta do the same thing on defense, and we don't worry about offense, you know. So we just want to play good defense.
All right, thanks a lot, Mehmet Okur. Once again, the Utah Jazz with the lead at intermission. This time it's 46-43, and they are at home. Let's go back to our home, our TNT Arena in Atlanta, and EJ.
All right, thank you very much, Segs. Same story, verse 6. Halftime lead for the Jazz. Rockets lead the series, however, 3-2, trying to close it out. Tracy McGrady trying to get past the first round for the first time in his career, and this is his 6th playoff
And it will happen tonight.
Huh?
It's going to happen tonight.
You're feeling confident
Well, I said
about
I thought Houston would win tonight because their role players really played well last game. I think it will carry over tonight. And all these games, if you can weather the storm on the road, I think in a half-court set, Houston's much better. They got more weapons. They're going to win this game tonight.
Let's go back and look at that incident involving Mehmet Okur and Juwan Howard from the second period.
As, in the air right now, comes down nice.
Tough foul, strong foul.
Nothing wrong with it. Okur overreacted.
Right now, when the technical happens, when Dick calls it, he's
he was surprised that he got a technical foul on. He never.
You saw the touch on Howard on Dick Favetta.
Very light.
But you're thinking you're telling me in the commercial break he got away with murder.
I thought that was very close. If Dick Favetta is a great official. He didn't overreact because Juwan Howard can't put his hands on him. He can't put his hands on him. Look at that. See, he can't put his hands on him. He just can't do that. And I thought Dick handled it well. He didn't overreact to the situation. Hostile environment. He didn't overreact. The crowd was going nuts. It was Okur's fault.
But see, I think Juwan thought he was getting the technical for getting up and wanting to fight. But I think Dick gave him the technical for the actual foul.
I think he gave. Well, see,
I thought the foul itself gave a technical.
And you thought he deserved a technical on that foul?
No, I didn't think either. But I think that's what Dick Favetta was.
See, what I think Dick Favetta did was give him the technical for touching him. Because I agree with Kenny. He didn't deserve a technical. That was just a good, hard basketball foul.
I don't know. Let's look at it again. Do we have it one more time? Let's see if he's already made the T sign before the touch is made by.
That's just a good hard foul.
Right, but see, he's already given a tech.
There's
boom,
the T,
and then he gives
the touch.
Well, see, I don't think he should have gave him a T for that hard foul.
Okay. At any rate,
hard fouls are part of the game.
And we saw one late.
I told you, I can't say they don't let girls play anymore. Andy Myers is warning.
No, stop that. Now, Carlos Boozer has 11 points to lead the Jazz, but there's been another guy. First playoff experience, a rookie, Paul Millsap, Kenny, who's made an impact.
Well, I think the new Utah Jazz, if you think about when they first used to play, they had to Stockton Malone, and then they had Thurl Bailey even. They would play half court, and then they'd run. The new Utah Jazz do it a different way, and they do it with energy, but they have the same type of effort. The ball moves, bodies move around. Look at the ball moving around the perimeter, downstream, knowing that Yao Ming won't come out to Boozer. He misses, but then the hustle play by Millsap gets it in. Then again, now you got the hustle play again, but now we're not half court anymore. We're going to execute. We're going to run the fast break. Look at the lanes, all lanes being felt, and then you hit the trailer. It gets an easy basket. So they run and they execute. A lot of people think that they like to slow the game down. They have athletes to get the game up.
And when I told Kenny that night, I don't understand why they don't run more. Kenny was talking about Houston likes to run. Houston cannot run with this team. Utah needs to speed up the tempo. They got more jocks. They're more athletic. They're much deeper. I think they should play at a much faster pace, not just tonight, but in the future.
Utah shooting 54%, and they lead it at the break in an elimination game for them, 46-43 over Houston. Also tonight.
Oh, yeah, baby!
Game 2 of our doubleheader.
This is big!
We'll be in the Bay Area.
And who was the guy who sent me the 5X anyway?
5X T-shirt.
Oh, Raymond Ritter from Golden State.
Raymond, you know what I'm thinking. You know what I'm thinking, Raymond Ritter?
Ooh, that's a hard foul, though. Because it was in the face. That's the only reason why Okur probably.
Yeah, but Okur kind of ducked into him. That's not a technical foul. That's a.
Oh, yeah. That's okay.
Are you never
Can't touch a ref. Can't touch a ref. Why'd you close your eyes just now when you see yourself kissing before?
Same guy, too.
You're embarrassed at the kiss. That's.
Welcome to the T-Mobile Halftime Report. T-Mobile, official wireless services partner of the NBA.
You know, Dirk hit some big shots. Devin Harris got an and one. And we were still, you know, up one. You know, we were still up one. And after that, I mean, counting in the free throws, and you know, it was pretty much, you know, the game was over once they started shooting free throws.
Dirk Nowitzki in Dallas, a 15-0 run to end that last game and keep them in this thing. Game 6 coming your way later tonight as the Mavs try to stay alive against the Golden State Warriors.
I can't wait for that game.
You and I both.
MySpace.com, TNT Overtime at NBA.com. Check those out. A lot more stuff on the playoffs here on TNT. It'll be a lot of fun. Get a computer, Chuck.
I'm never going to get a computer, man. I don't want people to be able to reach me.
Tracy McGrady trying to get to the second round. 16 points, 7 out of 15. His guys are down 3.
And we welcome you back to Salt Lake City as we zero in on the building called EnergySolutions and Arena. And we certainly have had a lot of energy in this game. We don't know what the ultimate solution is going to be, but it's been a fiercely contested half-court game, as you would expect from these teams. Dick Stockton, Reggie Miller, and Craig Sager. But let's focus a little bit about T-Mac, Tracy McGrady, and a contrast so far for what he did in game number 5, Red.
Well, I think offensively tonight he's doing a fabulous job. But if you remember in game 5, he had 16 assists, and he only has 1 tonight. You got guys like Shane Battier who are 0 for 3, and Chuck Hayes hasn't even taken a shot tonight. So though he's going offensively well, it would serve them better if he can look for these guys and try to get them involved, and then come the end of the 3rd and 4th quarter, go for his points.
3-point lead for the Jazz, and it's been a tough, grueling first half.
Well, you know, anytime you get past 5 games, because you've seen these guys over and over again, all the video, and, you know, shoot-arounds are taken out because you know all the plays, and things are just a little chippy right here. You know, Juwan Howard and even referee Dick Bavetta getting into it. So it's all about playoffs, hard fouls, emotions run high, but that's what playoff basketball is all about.
And right now, let's take a look at tonight's Jeep game summary. So here are the Jazz leading by 3 and shooting 54% from the field. And boy, Houston's firing those threes up.
Well, that's one of their staples, but more importantly, they've been in these games here all the way up until the halfway point. But really, speaking with Coach Jeff Van Gundy, he says the 3rd quarter is really where they lose it when they're on the road. The Jazz go on these runs and they extend it and they can't find a way to get back into the ball game. It's pivotal, these first 5 minutes for the Rockets to set a tone.
Right now, let's check in with Craig Sager.
Well, Juwan Howard is still upset over that technical foul called by Dick Bavetta in the first half. He said that he is going to appeal the technical foul, calling Billy Hunter as soon as this game is over. He said it's not only the $1,000, but the principle. I talked to the Houston Rockets coaching staff. They said we can't worry about that. It looked like a bang-bang play. But Juwan Howard's still very much upset. As for Utah, they shot a sizzling 55% in that first half. They said that was our best execution. If we can continue in the 3rd quarter, we'll be in great shape.
All right, Craig, but they're up by 3 points. Normally, you shoot that kind of percentage, you'd have a wider lead. But Jerry Sloan will take it and hope that his Jazz team can come out in the second half and continue to keep that pressure on. He hasn't been able to do it.
Excuse me, partner. Did you see Marty Arstadish's hands, the way he got that basketball?
Yes, I did. Usually he deflects it off of my face, but he did a good job there. So Okur with the 3 has 8 points in the game, 49-43, a 6-point lead and the biggest lead of the game for the Jazz. And here's Yao Ming with the fake and the putback, and here is not really a putback, but through. And Yao with 12 points in this game on 5 for 8 shooting from the field.
Well, if you're Okur, you can't gamble. You just got to play behind Yao. When you go for the steal and you don't get it, it's an easy bucket for Yao.
Boozer. So Carlos Boozer, who has 13 points and the only player in double figures for the Utah Jazz, has shot 6 of 10. So he's picking up where he's left off as really the heart and soul offensively of this team. Here is Hayes, wide open. Rafer Alston misses the 3, and good hustle by Hayes going after the rebound, which was last touched by the Jazz.
Well, I like that pick and roll right there. Chuck Hayes slipped it. Tracy found him. I thought he could have went in for the shot, but he finds Rafer Alston for a wide open 3 in the corner. So it looks like Tracy McGrady's taking a concentrated effort trying to come out and find people.
3 players in double figures for Houston, led by T-Mac with 16, Alston and Yao each with 10. And the basket counts and the foul. So Yao Ming coming out strong in this third quarter. Foul is on Okur, his second.
And it's just a size advantage that Yao has. Yes, obviously we know he's 7'5", but it's that weight that he's laying on Okur that's really providing that lift for him.
And going to the line is key for him, as we mentioned. He has averaged 10 free throws a game, but in the bad loss 4 here in Utah, Yao went to the line only 4 times. That just won't get it done for the Rockets tonight, who trail by 3, 51-48. Derek Fisher with Boozer, Kirilenko, Okur, and Williams. Fisher with a 2-point basket. Fisher with 6. Jazz by 5. And the Rockets, who have lost 17 of their last 18. Well, I should say the Jazz have, and the Rockets have struggled on the road here in Utah. And Yao Ming again, 17 points for Yao Ming, and he has scored all 7 points for Houston here in the third.
And they really have no answer because he's just popping open right in the middle, and it's just a wide open target. It's a 3-footer.
And the kick ball by Rafer Alston. So it'll be interesting to see how the Rockets play. They were tired. They looked tired after game number 4, and that they didn't have any energy then. And so if they want to win it on the road and get ready for the next round, we'll see how they do in the second half away from home. Jazz very tough. Deron Williams, reverse lane, the tip by Kirilenko. And again, the Jazz up by 5.
Well, they're not going to run a lot of plays for me. This is one thing I can do. Get my points off the offensive glass. Good tip in there by Kirilenko.
And here's Okur against Yao, losing the ball to Deron Williams. Coming over to double team. And there's Okur, hit a 3 earlier, makes another one. So Mehmet Okur has hit back-to-back 3s. And the Utah Jazz now have extended their lead to the largest margin of 8, 58-50. And for the second time in the series, Okur gets into double figures. He has 11.
Well, you hear the good defense right here by batting the ball away from Yao. In transition, Deron Williams doing a good job of finding Okur. And once again, it's that dreaded third quarter blues for the Houston Rockets.
Each team has connected on 4 3-point baskets. Tracy McGrady so far with 16 in the first half, yet to score. It's been Yao Ming's third quarter. And it'll be very interesting here to see how the Rockets react to this last run by the Jazz.
See, now, it's times like this, you either go to Yao or Tracy. Yao's has it going in this third quarter. Let's see if Tracy's going to try to establish himself offensively.
See if how the Rockets can stay in the game. And it was on the line, so the Jazz, seemingly turning the ball over on the Rockets, will have to give it back.
And now they're saying, was it a possession? Are they going to Is it a new 24 or he didn't have possession? Shot clock remains the same at 11.
Three minutes gone by and 11 seconds on the shot clock, as you see on the top of your screen. Rafer Alston will inbound. McGrady. Yao fighting for the loose ball and foul. Trying to get it up, and let's see, trying to say that it was in the act of shooting, but Joe Forte says, no, don't come around with that theory.
Even Yao has a smile on his face on that one. He ain't getting that by Joe Forte. Good hustle there by Yao Ming, keeping the ball alive, and there he is. Three. You got three Jazz players around. He's like, wait, hold on. I was getting it up.
Foul is on Deron Williams, his second. Yao, fall away, short. Okur the rebound. Jazz up 58-50 over the Rockets. Needing a win on the road here to force a seventh game, which will be played Saturday in Houston. Here's Boozer. Rebound by Rafer Alston.
I'll state it again. If you can take Yao off the dribble, it's to your advantage, Carlos Boozer.
And the pass off of Yao's hands. So another Rocket turnover. Inside to Boozer. Tough player inside in the paint. And a 10-point lead. First double-digit lead of the game. 60-50. As the Jazz have scored 7 straight points in under 2 minutes. And the defense has been the star for the Jazz. And very nearly once again. Alston gets a step on Kirilenko with a runner. In and out. Okur gets the rebound, and here's the break with Kirilenko against Battier and the offensive foul. Let's see.
And that is the third offensive foul Shane Battier has taken tonight.
It was Ken Mauer's call, and Bavetta was ready to signal it, but Mauer had it right. 3 on Kirilenko.
I don't think there's anyone else in the league that draws that many offensive fouls than Shane Battier.
And now they will go the other way. Speaking of Shane Battier, he runs into Kirilenko. So back at you here in Salt Lake City, and the Jazz get the ball back, leading by 10. But an interesting thought that you said at halftime, and we know that Yao has scored all the points so far for Houston, and that is the other players, the role players, are not in rhythm for the Rockets because they haven't had the opportunity. It's been basically a two-man show. Let's see if it really haunts Houston here as the game goes on, Rich.
Well, it's going to, because if they need a big shot and they double and triple team either Yao or Tracy McGrady, they're not going to have no type of rhythm.
McGrady leaves his defender, Derek Fisher, in the dust and gets the field goal. So 18 for McGrady. Yao has 17, 35 of the Rockets' 52. Boozer passes out to Fisher, who had a good look there. And Alston with the rebound. An 8-point lead and a bad pass and a steal. And McGrady knocking Fisher down and looking for the clear path foul.
The fans here want to foul him. Joe Forte says it was all ball right here. Inadvertent pass right here. Derek Fisher does a good job of coming up with the steal. Thinks he has an alleyway.
It was. It was. He swiped the ball away, and it appeared as if Fisher was knocked down. But no foul, and the Jazz will inbound. That was a good call.
Non-call. Good non-call.
Yeah. Ball off the hands of Mehmet Okur, and here come the Rockets. Mutombo, who's coming for Yao Ming, gets the lay-in. So Mutombo, who has scored a total of 4 points in this series coming into this game, brings the Rockets to within 6.
Well, now is Yao tired? He got off to such a good start offensively.
Williams on the lay-in.
You have to wonder, is he Is he tired? I mean, hurt?
He will send Craig down behind the bench. Under 9 on the shot clock. Battier. 3-point attempt. Okur has it knocked away by Hayes, but maintained by the Jazz.
Battier still scoreless after coming off those 15 points in Game 5.
Utah trying to open up a double-digit lead again, and they better it. Another 3 by Okur, his third here in the third quarter, and a timeout called by Jeff Van Gundy with the Jazz up by 11, 65-54. Okur, 14 points, and the Jazz 5 for 5 from three-point range.
The 2007 NBA Playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines, official airline of the NBA. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom. And by Jeep, legendary capability only in a Jeep 4x4.
The lead is 11. Okur has 9 in this quarter, and my man Reggie Miller at the top of the game said the barometer of this Jazz team tonight will be Mehmet Okur.
Well, I thought coming into the series he was only 4 of 25 from beyond the arc. Tonight, 3 of 3. When he can stretch the defense like that, it allows all those other guys, Boozer, Harper, and Kirilenko, to get those easy cuts to the basket.
Luther Head has come in. And a foul called against Carlos Boozer. That is the third team foul against the Jazz here in this quarter. The Rockets yet to commit a foul.
Well, I guess Yao got his wind back on the floor.
Well, we don't know that he sat down because of that reason. The ball knocked away by Kirilenko, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Rockets.
Jazz are just a step quicker than the Rockets right now. Active hands, deflections, coming up with loose balls.
Houston Rockets, by the way, have lost 20 of their last 22 games here in this building. And trailing here with nearly 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Here is Kirilenko in traffic. 5 on the shot clock. Deron Williams with a 3-point try. Right now, the Rockets, who are battling for the lead for most of this first half, just trying to get it into single digits. Yao guarded by Boozer, who has 2 fouls, and the fall away doesn't go in, spins out.
Let's see if Carlos Boozer can take Yao Ming a little bit off the dribble right here.
Here's Kirilenko posting up against Tracy McGrady. Yao getting the rebound. Jazz get back defensively. So no break opportunity for the Rockets. We hear 4 minutes to go in the third. Here's Yao in good position inside. Deflection and the foul. Good deflection at first by Okur. Got a piece of it, but then the foul is called and Yao will go to the line. That is the third personal on Mehmet Okur.
Well, I really thought he got fouled twice on this. I think he got fouled on the initial play of going up. He does a good job of staying with the rebound for the foul.
Greg Sager.
Well, you guys were wondering why Yao came out of the game after just a few minutes in that third period. I checked, he was not injured, and he should not have been out of breath, according to the coaching staff, because he just came out of the halftime locker room. The only thing that I can conceive is that they shot 54% in the first half. Then Utah came out and made 8 out of 8 straight shots, and they were putting Dikembe Mutombo in for a defensive purpose and might change up the flow of the game. But then when the Utah Jazz scored again, Yao said, I'm ready to go back.
That is a sideline reporter for you. Thanks very much, Craig. 18 points for Yao, 1 out of 2 from the line, and the lead is 10 for the Jazz.
So if they're not playing defense, he can tell Jeff Van Gundy, take me out and put in Dikembe Mutombo. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just reporting. I don't know. There's Mutombo on the bench right now. From exclusive courtside interviews to repeats of the award-winning Inside the NBA, log on to NBA.com for TNT Overtime's excellent playoff coverage. TNT Overtime, the basketball broadband channel that's on all the time, only on NBA.com. 4 on the shot clock. Here's Derek Fisher, air ball. And here come the Rockets. They're down by 10. McGrady going in. Deflection. Good play made inside. Giricek was there, and they're going to call the block with Kirilenko getting credit. Well, the Jazz are playing terrific at both ends of the floor here in this third quarter, and it's showing on the board. Fisher going around the screen. Out to Giricek. Passes up the 3. 2 on the shot clock. Fisher will take the 3, and another air ball, and this time the shot clock violation will stop play and hand it over to Houston.
Right now you've got 3 guys around Tracy McGrady as he goes to the hole right here. Gets a blocked shot right there. You got to take it to the basket and try to get fouled.
All right, what do the Rockets need to do to get back in this game? Because right now they're just, you know, in quicksand, you know, the way they're playing.
Well, right now I think they're really coasting right here. Yao Ming's got it going offensively, but I think Tracy McGrady, no one else is going to score for them. You might as well be aggressive offensively.
Harpering in the game for the Jazz. And they're going to call Giricek for the foul, and that'll be the 15th foul against Utah. And the penalty situation when we come back to Salt Lake City. 2:49 remaining in the third, 10-point Jazz lead. Let's take a look right now at tonight's House of Pain Family Fact. Well, Jarron Collins, who's on the floor right now, and his brother Jason, both playing in this year's playoffs. Last time a set of brothers appearing in the playoffs at the same time, the Barrys, Brent and John, 2 seasons ago. There is Jarron Collins. Played in all 82 games this year. And McGrady on the free throw line. Rockets have only 2 baskets in the last 7 minutes. But really what you have to look at from one standpoint is that Houston had the #1 field goal defense in the NBA, Reggie, and yet they've allowed the Jazz to shoot 53% so far in this game, thus the 10-point lead, or 11.
Well, you know, they're getting out and getting easy ones as well. Finally, Mehmet Okur. You could do the math. Mehmet Okur is finally stretching the defense and getting some easy baskets.
Apparently not. Here's Harpering coming behind the screen from Collins. And Giricek for the 3. Very solid ball movement and the second 3 of the game for Giricek. And now, I know it's an 11-point lead for the Jazz. They're under 2.5 to play in the third, and they're going to call Giricek for the foul, and they've been in the penalty, and free throws coming up.
Here, this is what you like from a Jerry Sloan team. Everyone's touching the basketball. Wide open shot by Gordon Giricek. You know, the Jazz coming into this game 14 of 61 from beyond the arc. Tonight 6 of 8, so they really are dialed in from long range.
You know what's interesting is McGrady makes the first free throw. With all of the physical play and the intense going on, we have had in the game only 17 free throws attempted before this one.
Well, they've all been hand-touching, slapping confrontations. They haven't been like really hard fouls other than the one that Juwan Howard put on Mehmet Okur.
And here's Giricek with the fall away and good block out of Jarron Collins by Chuck Hayes. Only 2 minutes to go, and they're going to call the push on Collins on Yao Ming, who will go to the line to shoot 2 with 2:05 remaining in the third. And a chance to bring the Rockets to within 7.
And this is a good way to sneak your way back into the ball game, score with no time coming off the clock. You got one of your better free throw shooters, your second best free throw shooter this year, going to the free throw line, Yao Ming.
And Yao now 6 for 7 from the line. One out of 2. They're the teams in the playoffs, and the better free throw shooting team. The Rockets amongst them at 81% coming into this game. Harpering, and Hayes the rebound.
Finally, the Rockets are exerting their defensive pressure right here.
8-point lead. Here's McGrady against Harpering. Puts the fake going strong to the basket and draws the foul. So right now, the Houston Rockets are getting to the line, and it's the way the pattern of this playoff is gone. The team with the most free throw attempts has won every game. In game number 5, they were all even. So Jeff Van Gundy's getting his team to the line. Foul is on Collins, and McGrady shooting 2.
We gotta remember 2 people for the Rockets, Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady, are going to shoot the bulk of their free throws, and both of them are fairly good to accurate free throw shooters.
Okur will come back into the game with 3 fouls, and Boozer will sit down. Boozer, the leading scorer for the Jazz with 15. Okur right behind with 4. McGrady makes them both. So Tracy now with 24, leading the Rockets, who trail by 6.
Well, no Kirilenko on the floor and no Deron Williams. So let's see if Okur, who just checked back in, can get it re-going offensively.
And they're going to call Yao with the knee getting out on that block. So Yao Ming, 2 fouls for him, and that is the 4th team foul for the Rockets. So they're stuck, still not in the penalty. Next one will, of course, put them in. Harpering will inbound. So Harpering, Fisher, Okur, Giricek, and Millsap. The starters, most of them getting a rest here. Giricek with 1 on the shot clock. And the bump, and it's still Hayes who knocks it over to Alston. So a 6-point lead, and there is McGrady in and out with a 3-point attempt right down the middle. 1 minute remaining in the 3rd quarter, game 6. The Jazz needing to win to send it to a 7th game. Team at home has won every game thus far, and Jazz want to keep it that way. Rockets have other ideas. Here is Okur, who has 3 threes this 3rd quarter, and finally misses from beyond the arc. And again, the Rockets trying to cut the deficit out of bounds, and Hayes can't keep it in play. So 2 costly turnovers by Houston when they could have really narrowed the margin, and the Jazz get the ball again. Fisher will fire a 3. Okur outjumps some smaller performers, including Luther Head, for the rebound. Under a half a minute.
Derek Fisher was trying to go for the 2-for-1. Right. They get the rebound.
Setting up now with 7 on the shot clock. Fisher, 2-point attempt. And Harpering tries to come in on Yao and steal one. Instead, the Rockets playing for the last shot. And McGrady missing from outside. And there is Fisher's shot. And that is the end of the 3rd quarter. The Jazz opened up an 11-point lead, but the Rockets would come back. Tracy McGrady only 1 for 5, but that's the advantage that the Jazz have. 68-62 after 3. Back to Salt Lake City as we start the 4th quarter of game 6. The Rockets leading 3 games to 2. Jazz trying to win at home and keep the home court advantage throughout the series. Lead the Rockets 68-62. And in that 3rd quarter, let's take a look at some numbers. The Jazz hit 4 threes, none for the Rockets. Rockets, though, went to the line, made 9 of 11. The Jazz didn't even go to the stripe. Okur with 3 threes, and McGrady did not shoot well from the field. In fact, the Rockets missed their last 7 shots of the quarter, and Yao Ming fouled on the first play of this 4th quarter with his shoot. And Mehmet Okur now with his 4th.
Well, if there's any suggestion to Okur, he needs to stop, along with Boozer, they need to stop reaching on Yao because he's too big and he's too hand strong when he gets the basketball. When he gets behind him, just try to force him out a little bit and make him, as he did in the first half, shoot some of those fadeaways. You need to stop reaching on him because as soon as he sees you reach, boom, he's going to go up with the basketball, and it's an automatic foul by the officials.
Yao Ming with 20 points in the game. He had 9 in the 3rd quarter to really keep the Rockets afloat. They were outscored by 3 in that period.
Well, as badly as the Rockets shot in that third quarter. They're only down by 4. They missed their previous 7 shots, and they're down by 4 points because of Yao.
Well, Yao and McGrady have accounted for 45 of the 64 Houston points, far more than half, and that's the way it's been for every game of the series except for game number 4. Driving in is Harper. Kirilenko has it knocked away in a blocking foul called by Joe Forte against Luther Head. Each team has picked up a foul now in the 4th.
A late whistle there by Joe Forte. Luther Head thinking he had the offensive foul there on Kirilenko or all ball. But what better way to get right if you're Kirilenko? A lot of plays aren't ran for you. You know, if you can get fouled, go to the line, try to get some kind of rhythm going.
Kirilenko hasn't gone to the line tonight. Say that about a few of the Jazz as he hits the post. National television coverage of the NBA playoffs continues Friday on ESPN. Raptors and Nets game 6. And ABC Sunday, Nets at Raptors game 7, or that series is over. The Nets begin the next series against the Cavaliers in Cleveland, followed by the Spurs and the Suns. So the free throws by Kirilenko. And the Jazz are up by 6. Opening minute, 4th quarter. And a 3-second violation called against the Rockets.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get the basketball when he dove in there, and they were swinging the ball around the perimeter right there. But you got to understand, if you're Yao, you got to get out and reestablish yourself inside.
Tracy McGrady starting this 4th quarter on the bench, and Juwan Howard into the game. And Kirilenko saving it and sliding around as if this were a hockey rink. Here's Harper beating Williams. And they score. That's got to be a good omen for the Jazz, the way that play went with a couple of slippages at midcourt. And Williams not sure of his footing, but hitting the 2. 72-64, the lead is 8. Juwan Howard with a timely basket from the baseline. And the last 10 Rockets points have come at the line before Howard hit that jumper. 6-point game, and the Rockets stay in town, especially with their prolific 3-point shooting that could explode at any time. Deron Williams out of bounds, last touch by the Rockets with 10 on the clock.
Deron Williams thought he was fouled on that Rafer Alston got all arm.
It's interesting how the home court has been so significant in this series when the Rockets gained home court advantage by 1 game with their late flurry at the end of the year, while the Jazz had struggled at the end of the year. Rockets won 6 of their last 7. The Jazz lost 5 in a row during a losing streak. Nearly 2 minutes gone by. It's a 6-point game. Head double team. Howard. And Rafer Alston hitting a big 3. That is his 3rd of the game. And it's now a 3-point lead for the Jazz early in this 4th quarter.
And if I'm Coach Van Gundy, I'm happy by the effort my Rockets are showing here. It's a 3. They're down 3 in the 4th quarter with Tracy McGrady on the bench.
They're staying in town. Okur with an off-balance fall-away hustle by Millsap, but he couldn't get it done. I tell you that Millsap, got to keep an eye on him. Very nearly kept it going for the Jazz. Howard, Yao, blocked by Kirilenko. And that gets the crowd on its feet here in Salt Lake City, and the blocking foul called against Juwan Howard as Millsap went baseline.
Well, Andrei Kirilenko did a lot of this in Game 5, coming from weak side. When Yao would go up, he would come from his blind side and get the block shot. Good timing right there by Andrei Kirilenko.
3 blocks for Andrei Kirilenko, making his presence felt, and a pretty good all-around game for Andrei in this game. Meanwhile, Tracy McGrady has checked back in for the Rockets, and Yao Ming will go to the bench.
Well, we know that Kirilenko is frustrated offensively because a lot of plays aren't run for him, but there's all sorts of other things defensively he can do for this team to be successful.
Boozer fouled and will go to the line to shoot. That will be the 3rd team fouled against the Rockets. So Yao Ming with 21 points on the bench, and Tracy McGrady is in the game. Foul is on Luther Head. That is his 4th personal.
Well, you've got Yao, who goes to the bench, who pretty much has carried the Rockets offensively in that third in the beginning of this 4th quarter. Now you've got arrested Tracy McGrady coming in. Let's see. No one else is scoring offensively other than Yao and himself. It's time to put your head down and be aggressive offensively.
Reggie, it's interesting on the chess match we're seeing because we saw most of the Jazz reserves wind up the third while most of the starters were in for the Rockets, so they're fresh coming out in the 4th. And now Jeff Van Gundy has to kind of mix and match, you know, for a team and not really wear out his big stars.
Well, not only that, but for Coach Jerry Sloan, you've got your premier defender, Kirilenko, on one of the premier offensive players in Tracy McGrady.
Lead is 4. Howard getting into Hayes, he scores, so Chuck Hayes with 2 points. Remember, he didn't score in game number 5, but took that big charge late in the game, and now the Rockets trailing by only 2, 73-71, and this crowd all now sitting down and zipping it up. But they'll get going again if the Jazz get a basket, and that'll be the 4th team foul against the Rockets as Deron Williams driving in, and we'll have a timeout. 8:32 to go. Can the Rockets win on the road and go home to the next round? Deron Williams, Andrei Kirilenko, and Mehmet Okur support Special Olympics Utah throughout the season. The group participated in basketball clinics, and Williams hosted Special Olympics athletes at a number of home games in Deron's double-team section. NBA Cares, continuing a tradition of basketball and service to the community. When we look at the Rockets, we look at their 1-2 punch, averaging nearly 49 points combined in the series. Already 45, Reggie, still 8.5 to go.
And something else, 9 turnovers between the 2 of them, 6 by Yao Ming. But, you know, obviously the ball is going to be in their hands when this game goes down to the stretch. What I don't like, Shane Battier, 0 for 4. He hasn't gotten involved. Chuck Hayes just scored. Rafer Alston's been up and down, 5 of 12, 13 points. You know, they're going to get doubled, and these guys are going to have to make a shot. And let's see if they're going to be in rhythm enough to make a shot.
Only Juwan Howard, who's hit 3 of 4, come through for the so-called role players as Williams makes them both 4-point lead. But the Jazz were shooting over 50% for most of this game. They're into about 47% as the Rockets have up their defense. There's the trap out on McGrady. Juwan Howard was looking inside, nothing there. Battier with a big 3, and there is Shane Battier just talking about him. His first field goal of the game and a 3-pointer to bring the Rockets to within 1. Now the Jazz in the last 10 minutes have hit only 2 of 15, so they have gone ice cold. 4 minutes gone by, and the Rockets trying to keep this crowd out of the game and denying Kirilenko. Battier gets the steal, and Juwan Howard misses the lay-in.
And kudos to Kirilenko for not quitting on the play right there, running, making that a tough layup for Juwan Howard.
1-point Jazz lead. And there is Okur with missing the 3. Rockets can regain the lead. They trailed by as many as 11 in that 3rd quarter. And now Houston can draw in front. Here is McGrady, and the 3-point attempt doesn't go. So the Jazz get it back. Still plenty of time remaining in this 4th quarter. Rockets trying to win on the road, become the first team to win a road game in the series, and that would capture the series in 6 games. Jazz looking to force a 7th game in Houston by winning here. Williams going in. Boozer. And they're going to call 24-second clock violation. Boozer did not get the shot off in time.
Juwan Howard thought he had a wide open layup here. Good steal here by Shane Battier. He looks up, he finds the streaking Juwan Howard right down the middle of the floor. Kirilenko at the time was 3 steps back, but recovers, contest.
And the bench reaction by the Rockets. Does he have it? Does he have it? Disappointment. Here's McGrady. The ball knocked away. Last touch by the Rockets off the leg of Tracy McGrady. So the Jazz get it back, still clinging to that 1-point lead.
Well, it's time for Tracy to put his head down and start going, driving to the basket. He's missed his last few outside shots. He really doesn't look like he has a great outside rhythm right now. Put your head down, try to create something in the paint.
And Harpring with a good look. Normally that's automatic for Matt Harpring with that much room. So now again, the Rockets and Kirilenko trying to get it away. Loose ball, and the Jazz get it back. Kirilenko having a great defensive game. And not doing too bad on offense either. Here's Boozer. And no foul called as Battier tried to take a charge, but the officials didn't go for it. And Boozer has 18, and the lead is 3.
Official Joe Forte right on the play right there. Told Shane Battier to get up. That was a flop.
And there's McGrady. Alston swinging it around. Both teams playing terrific defense, but the Jazz doing it just a better job right now as they force yet another Rocket turnover. Deflection, and that time Battier got a hand on it. We are seeing terrific defensive plays. Good hands, people.
Well, it's all about deflections. Deflections and coming up with turnovers. Right now, both teams are doing an outstanding job.
3-point lead, Kirilenko all over McGrady. With 9 on the clock, McGrady says, I'll go around, and Kirilenko gets a piece of it. 5 blocks for Andrei Kirilenko in tears after game 1. He ought to have tears of joy the way he's playing in this one. And here is Boozer with the baseline shot. And the Rockets with another chance. 5 minutes remaining in regulation and a 3-point Jazz lead.
This is the patent elbow play for Jeff Van Gundy. A screen down on Tracy McGrady, either an isolation or a shot.
Kirilenko doing a number on McGrady lately, and the foul, and McGrady will shoot. That is only the second team foul on Utah here in the fourth quarter.
Well, there's always other things you can do on the floor if you don't have it going offensively. He hasn't gotten it going. Kirilenko all series. Nice steal right there off of Tracy McGrady, and here, staying with him step for step, one of the premier offensive players in the league, and getting a hand for the block.
The 2007 NBA Playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Hyundai. Make a really smart move. Drive a Hyundai with America's best warranty. By Wendy's. Get in the middle of flavor. Try Wendy's new Double Melt and do what tastes right. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you? And by T-Mobile, official sponsor of the NBA.
Now it's time for tonight's U.S. Army Strong Performance of the Game.
Well, this is the most emotions AK-47 Andrei Kirilenko has shown. There's the dunk for part of his 10 points. And then he comes up with a big block on Yao Ming. He has 5 of those. And then the steal on Tracy McGrady. He has 3 steals to go along with an unbelievable all-around effort game for the Jazz.
A tremendous boost for Andrei Kirilenko here in Game 6. Fans, log on to TNT Overtime on NBA.com to see more U.S. Army strong performances. Tracy McGrady on the free throw line. And looks to bring the Rockets to within 1.
Tracy doing a good job now of, like I said, putting his head down, trying to draw contact. He got the foul there on Kirilenko going to the basket.
But you saw 1 for 7 shooting in the second half for McGrady. He makes both free throws, and the Rockets 16 of 19 from the line. McGrady himself is 9 of 10. And again, Utah's lead cut to the slim 1-point margin, and Alston knocking it away, and 17 on the shot clock. The next Rockets foul will put them into the penalty. And right now the Jazz still have 2 fouls to give. Both teams have enough timeouts. Yao picking up. Williams goes into Kirilenko, and it goes through. Andrei Kirilenko, 12 points in the game, by far his best offensive game, and we've chronicled what he's done on the other end.
Well, I really thought Deron had Carlos Boozer for a wide open shot. Kirilenko comes on his backside for the wide open layup.
So again, it's a 3-point Jazz lead. Nearly 4 minutes to go in regulation. And they're going to call the offensive foul. Yao, and that will be his 3rd foul.
Right here, elbow there, up high. Anytime you give an elbow towards the shoulders to the face, it's an automatic offensive foul or foul.
You brought this out earlier. Yao, with all of what he's done, has also turned it over 7 times tonight. Here is Kirilenko, and he hits a 2. Andrei Kirilenko, if the Jazz win this game, you're looking at their hero right now, 81-76. Open up a 5-point lead with just under 4 minutes to play. So offense and the defense and tremendous active play for Andrei Kirilenko, who came back from injury, active, and doing it tonight.
And he did it in there.
Five-point lead for the Jazz, and as we move to the night, we take a look at what's coming up on TNT. Does it get better than that? Mavericks, Warriors. Can Golden State do it on the road? We believe the yellow shirts will be loud and evident. And can the Mavericks win on the road and force a 7th game? Then later tonight, it's the award-winning Inside the NBA. EJ, Kenny, and Charles, highlights and analysis of tonight's playoff action. 5-point lead, and here is Yao Ming putting it through. So Yao now with 23 points and 49 between the two, and T-Mac set him up, so it's a 3-point Utah lead.
Nice play there by Jeff Van Gundy out of the timeout right there. Get Tracy McGrady going to the basket. Double comes over, you find a wide open Yao Ming.
And they double team Deron Williams now, and the fall away by Williams dropped through. Big basket by Williams, who has 15 points. And very nearly had a triple-double in game 1. He is a star in the making, make no mistake about that. But a 5-point lead for the Jazz. Juwan Howard picked up by Okur. And now they have Boozer, and they're going to have the foul called, a 3-second violation. No foul, but it's a turnover. And you can see the exasperation on the face of Jeff Van Gundy as Yao was in the lane too long. This is an important stop right here for the Rockets.
As well as try to run some time off the clock.
Boozer, and the blocking foul against Battier, and that's the penalty situation, the 15th foul against Houston.
I believe Carlos Boozer got away with one right there, because I thought Shane Battier did a good job of coming over, acting a little bit, but I thought he did a good job of coming over, taking that hit.
Boozer is 2 for 3 from the free throw line, and 65% in the series coming in. Trying to make it a 7-point lead now for the Jazz.
And let's see if they go, if the Rockets, when they get the basketball back, if they're going to go to that pick and roll again, try to get Tracy McGrady back in the paint, either for him to score or find Yao Ming.
20 points tonight for Carlos Boozer, and a 7-point lead. So the Rockets have to do some work with 2:42 remaining, plenty of time. Tracy McGrady firing up a 3. And Juwan Howard with the offensive rebound. And a new clock with 2.5 on remaining in the 4th. Boozer defending against Yao Ming. Fall away. That doesn't go. So McGrady and Yao Ming both miss key shots with their team down by 7 and under 2.5 to play.
Well, no one else has really shot all game, maybe other than Rafer Alston. So who else would shoot it but those two?
Here is Okur, and they explode here in Salt Lake. That's the 4th three-pointer of the second half for Mehmet Okur.
3 of 6 up to this point from beyond the arc. Makes it 4 of 7.
.206 to go, and this crowd finally has something to cheer about. The Jazz lead 88-78 with 2:06 to go, and 2:06 from evening the series at 3 apiece. And the last 2 possessions for the Rockets, their top 2 players came up empty.
And you know, I don't mind the shots because they've been shooting and been contributing all night. A tough long-range shot by Tracy, and good pressure there by Boozer on Yao Ming, making it difficult for him down in the post.
The Jazz were up by 1, and since then, Utah's outscored Houston 11-2, and it started when Kirilenko hit 2 baskets and capped by Okur's 4th three-pointer of this half. The Rockets are down to 1 timeout remaining, trailing by 10, and a big hill to climb for Jeff Van Gundy's crew.
Just as we saw in Game 5 of the Warriors and the Mavs, anything is possible. Let's see if Tracy McGrady can try to get something going quickly.
Under 2 minutes to go. Here is Alston, and misses the 3. Kirilenko getting the rebound. Rockets cannot afford to squander possessions at this point. Williams picked up by Yao, and now Alston gets back. 3 on the shot clock. Williams for 3, and Luther Head getting the rebound. Rockets can't waste a lot of time setting things up, and they're going to call Harpering with the foul, and let's see if it was behind the arc, and it was not. So it'll be a 2-shot free throw for Luther Head. And right now, as we reach close to the end of this game, let's send it to our Atlanta studios and Ernie Johnson.
All right, thank you, Dick. Southwest Game Break, just to show you the scene at Oracle Arena in Oakland. The homestanding Golden State Warriors take the floor, better than 20,000 going wild in their We Believe shirts as Golden State tries to do what's never been done in NBA history. A number 8 beats a number 1 in a best of 7. That game coming up here on TNT. Back to you, Dick.
All right, Ernie, that's all going to start in a few moments. 1 out of 2 for Luther Head from the line. It's 88-79, nearly a minute remaining, but the Jazz appear to be in control of this game, as they have in all the games here in Utah. Boozer on a good feed from Kirilenko, and it's 90-79, matches the biggest lead of the game for the Jazz. So Utah playing with the confidence and intensity that they do at home, as Yao Ming cuts it to 9, but under a minute remaining.
Well, the Rockets had plenty of times to take the lead, and they just couldn't get over that hump in the second half, and now it looks like there's going to be a Game 7 where Utah's played pretty good in Games 1, 2, and 5. They've come up short. So,
well, they feel, you're right, Reggie, they feel that they had enough chances to win. So they came in this game confident. They said, look, we have wiped out the Rockets basically in our 2 home games, and we're in position to win the 3 games on the road. Larry Miller, the Jazz owner, very active on the sideline. Take a look now at the brackets coming up next. Golden State and Dallas, Game 6, and a chance for the Warriors, the number 8 seed, to advance. We're headed for a Game 7 Saturday in Houston. San Antonio and Phoenix get to start their next round. And what a series that's going to be.
Well, it's going to be key to see if the Jazz can bring the type of energy that they brought for Game 6, and more importantly, if Andrei Kirilenko, who's had a breakout game thus far, can keep that energy going at both ends of the floor for the Jazz.
And do it on the road. You know, the Jazz, even though they've come close, they still have lost those games on the road. Close but no cigar.
Yeah, it was funny because speaking with Coach Jeff Van Gundy before, and he says, yeah, I've been reading all the, the writers and talking and hearing what the Jazz been saying, that, we've gift wrapped Games 1, 2, and 5, and that we woulda, coulda, shoulda. Bottom line, they lost the ball game.
That's right. They needed the game to even the series at 3-3. And so we go into a Game 7 where the home team has been victorious in every game. 92-82 with 32 plus remaining.
I've been on both ends. I've gone into buildings in Game 7s, and I've hosted Game 7s. And people always ask, what pressure, who's the pressure really on? I much prefer to play a road game in a Game 7.
Because the home team's expected to win.
You're expected to win. All you have to do is keep it close.
51 points combined, with McGrady with 26 and Yao with 25, but it doesn't appear that that's going to get it done. And going to the bench, John Lucas coming into the game, replacing Luther Head, who fouls out after scoring 4 points. And this is the second appearance in the series for Luther Head. Well, the Rockets had their chances. They could say, just as the Jazz did in Houston, we had a chance to win on the road.
And I'm sure Coach Jerry Sloan would say, but it's still a loss. And we've got a pivotal Game 7 in your building, which, you know, you look at the statistics, they easily could have really won Game 5 if it wasn't for that unbelievable charge that Chuck Hayes took on Derek Fisher.
Well, it'll be 3-3. 7th game coming up, and Lucas missing. And the Jazz playing for the last shot here. This crowd on its feet. This Utah team back in the playoffs after missing the last 3 years. Lost 12 of their last 18 and lost home court advantage. And we will find out on Saturday whether that is the determining factor in this series. Final score, the Utah Jazz 94, the Houston Rockets 82. Series all even at 3 apiece. Boozer led Utah with 22, and McGrady 26. 1 for 8 shooting in the second half. And right now, let's send it over to Craig Sager with Andrei Kirilenko.
Well, Andrei, let's talk about your performance, first of all, tonight. The energy you had at both ends of the court, and also the way that you were able to play defense on McGrady and also score.
I mean, it's hard. Believe me, we have a game. We need to win or we're leaving. You know, we're going home. And it's tough to play this kind of intensity, especially on both ends of the court, but we got to win, and we got it.
I was at that practice in Houston where you broke down emotionally because you felt you weren't able to help contribute to the team. How were you able mentally to put that past you and come out tonight and be the heart and soul of this victory?
I mean, as long as coach believes in me, I'm ready to go. You know, I think last few games we got different changes, and you know, we're playing as a team, we're helping each other, and that's all we need. You know, we have one more game in Houston, tough game, and you know, Houston playing great at home. So if we want to be in the next round, we need to beat them there.
Mentally is one thing for you to come back the way you did, but physically diving all over the floor, making all those blocks. How were you able to anticipate what they were doing and also running down people all over the court?
I mean, it's always been my game. You know, I always playing hustle, always diving for the ball. You know, sometimes you need to catch the rhythm. You know, I think tonight was a perfect example. You know, score a couple shots, make assist, and then you get yourself going. And, you know, then you start, you know, you feel spark. You feel like you can be everywhere.
And you were everywhere. Congratulations. As Reggie Miller said, you can start to do the little things, and then next thing you know, the big things come as well. Back to you, Dick.
All right, Craig. So our final score tonight, the Utah Jazz 94, the Houston Rockets 82. For Reggie Miller, Craig Sager, and the rest of the crew, I'm Dick Stockton saying goodnight from Salt Lake City. Coming up next, Ernie, Kenny, and Charles in our studio in Atlanta. TNT is your exclusive home for the Eastern Conference Finals. So long, everybody.
Southwest Airlines game break. Oh, some signs. What a surprise. Oh.
They're killing you, Chuck.
I'm so depressed right now.
Welcome home. Oh, Jay.
Oh, I like that one. That was pretty funny. That was funny. That one was funny.
I thought that was a little harsh.
Where's the kid? Where's the kid one? I like the one that he had.
Which one? We accept your apology accepted? Yeah. Game 2 of our doubleheader coming up. Dallas Mavericks, Golden State Warriors,
wrong,
Game 6. Charles, what's wrong, man?
Oh man, it just sucks. We got Game 7 Saturday. I can't go to the De La Hoya Mayweather fight now.
So anyway,
boxing is my favorite sport. I want
Game 7, Utah, Houston.
First of all, that's the first round of the playoffs. Nobody cares about the first round of the playoffs.
No, now you don't care. Now you all sour apple.
Come on.
Now you all sour apple.
Hey, no, I care
Put
about
the baby on, Ernie.
Hey, no, I care about the playoffs. Hey, I care about the playoffs, but I don't care about the first round.
Okay. It's the first round of the playoffs.
Oh my God.
Andrei Kirilenko, what a
All
night
the first
he
round
had.
is good for us getting rid of teams that can't play.
There's a lot of teams that can still play because they're going to Game 7. And Kirilenko, like he's about to say, Ernie.
This is like the old 2 or 3 years ago, Andrei Kirilenko.
It was great to see it because this jump shot really showed the confidence. Anybody can hit layups and get back in confidence. When he hit the jump shot, it really showed that he had his confidence back and confidence in himself, and the teammates had confidence. And Okur had a big one, too.
Well, I said earlier, before Utah could win this series, Okur and Kirilenko had to pick it up, and they played fantastic tonight.
Kirilenko had 15 points in the first 5 games total. Had 14 tonight in Game 6.
Pick your energy up, man, before I have to slap you.
94.
I'm depressed, man.
82. Come on, Chuck. We're going to a Game 7 now.
Man, nobody care about the first round of the playoffs.
Sure they do.
No,
He was so happy. He was so happy. He thought he was. You can still go.
No, because then you got the whiny executives who complain around here.
22 points and 9 rebounds for Carlos Boozer. And look at Andrei Kirilenko. You see the numbers.
Yeah, look at him. Way to show up in Game 6.
He sure did. 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and 5 blocks.
I'm not
Game
a hater.
7.
I got a life. I'm not like y'all.
You can go, man.
I want to see De La Hoya Mayweather. I'm not even going to act like I don't.
We're going to beam it into this screen for you.
Yeah, you'll be able to watch it here in the studio.
I can't wait to see this game.
It won't be the same as being there.
Man, this game coming up. This is pay-per-view right here.
No, this is pay-per-view, this next game.
This is pay-per-view.
I'm not going to go crazy. This is the first round of the playoffs. The playoffs get better when they get closer where they mean something.
He sure wasn't singing that tune.
No kidding.
He was not singing that tune earlier.
I was pulling for the Rockets, and I'm pulling for Golden State. I want this to be over so I could be on the first row of that fight. Now I'm stuck with you two losers Saturday night. And
you ain't stuck with me.
And all the important people will be in Las Vegas.
As we look ahead to Game 6 between the Mavericks and the Golden State Warriors, how about Steven Jackson? Let's hear from him.
You guys have stayed loose throughout the series, but now is it kind of shifting anger, concern, something like that creep in?
Nah, we don't. I mean, we're not angry. We don't feel any pressure or anything. We're up 3-2. We're going home. We still in a great position. So, I mean, we play free. Our whole game is free. And we're going to continue to feel that way.
Jason Richardson saying there's no pressure on us. Matt Barnes says we beat ourselves in Game 5. They're feeling confident going into this thing.
You know why they're feeling confident? Because they're saying to themselves, this is their logic. All we have to do is finish the game. Close it out. We know we can get up on Dallas. We know that they have trouble guarding us. We know that they can't stay in front of us. So we have to finish it off. And Dallas, on the other hand, what they're saying, you know what? They can't finish games. Now we got them where we want to. We got them here. We win this game. There's no way they're coming back to Game 7 and win. This is what I'm here for.
Listen to that place as we near the tip. We're still about 5-6 minutes away from